Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Thank you to our sponsors, Davis Home Inspections. For outstanding home inspections in the Willamette Valley, go to davis1.com. And Southpaw's Perfect Pizza for excellent pizza in Albany, Oregon. Go to southpawspizza.com. Good morning, everybody. Man, I'm so excited. It's Monday morning. It's time to get going. It's going to be a great week. It's beautiful in Salem, Oregon, where I am. Beautiful day. It's supposed to be nice and warm today. We love the warm weather. And this is Russ with Marketing with Russ. I'm here again Monday morning. I just want to remind you, I'm here every Monday from 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Monday and Thursday every week. For Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, and I am just ready to go, fired up about my guest Sam this morning. Sam Gupta is just an amazing individual with all the stuff that he's doing, and I just can't wait to talk to him some more. He works with a lot of industries, but is just a super connector and is an amazing guy dealing with marketing and all kinds of stuff in his business. So he's going to tell us more about that. But before we get to Sam, I just want to remind you that I am Russ Hedge. I am an inspiration specialist. I'm a marketing coach. I'm the author of Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, right there. And that's available on Amazon, all online booksellers. And if you're in the Oregon and Southwest Washington area, you can also pick that up at bookstores. And so excited about being able to encourage you through a book, but also I want to let you know today that I love to connect with people. I want to add value to your life. I want to lift you up and bless you. And the way I can do that is you can go to russhedge.com. That's russhedge.com. And you can schedule time directly on my calendar to connect with me. We can meet. We can talk. I can learn more about you. That would be such a blessing for me. And I'd love to be able to bless you in your life and all that you're doing. And also, if you just want to check out my social media links, or the other things I've got going on, all my information is at russhedge.com. So real simple. I'm a simple guy. I like to keep it simple for you. So russhedge.com is a place to go. And that is about all the information on me right now, because I want to jump into things with Sam. I'm excited to get going. So let's bring Sam in. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Russ, thank you so much for having me. Super excited. By the way, I am coming here from the beautiful city called Toronto, Ontario. It's not going to be as beautiful as Oregon, but we are pretty good.
Yeah, well, that's great. I hear great things about where you live from other friends up there, Inger, and some other friends in the area. So excited about all that you have going on. So anyway, listen, I am so thankful you're here today. How are you? Are you getting your week all started? You're a few hours ahead of me, so you're already into your day.
Yeah, I mean, my week typically starts at like 6 a.m. in the morning. So it's been great today. Got so much done, which is what I like to do.
Yeah, well, you and I are both early morning guys. I actually started at about 3:30 a.m. this morning. Usually I start around 4 a.m., but I'm a super early morning guy. So I like to get going. I'm productive early, so that's my thing. So yeah, but listen, it's so great to have you this morning. I want you to tell everybody a little bit more about Sam and where you came from, how you got to where you are right now, and what you're up to.
So yeah, so it's probably going to be a very long story. So I am going to keep it super brief. So I have spent what roughly 20 years in the industry serving many different organizations. I started as the consultant in the Fortune 500 space, grew up in a very manufacturing and distribution centric environment, but then moved into the consulting for roughly 10 years, then got involved in a lot of different startups for roughly 5 years. None of them really worked out. Then finally started Elevate IQ and the WBS Rocks umbrella that we did roughly 5-ish years back. And this is the most successful venture that we have. But overall, from my journey perspective, I specialize in the ERP systems, and these systems are going to be that any of the product or service centric industries are going to use for their order management, for their business operations. And again, I'm gonna keep it super brief so that we can spend more time in my journey, but overall roughly 20 years in the technology digital transformation ERP space.
Well, that's awesome. So explain to us what ERP stands for.
So ERP, if people are not really familiar with what it is, it's essentially is a order management system. It's called enterprise resource planning. So for the smaller businesses, they are probably going to use it for their operations planning, for supply chain planning, for accounting, for their sales as well. Not really the marketing automation piece, but the sales operations and finance is probably going to happen in some sort of ERP system. Typically, when companies grow after, let's say, $10 million, they need slightly more integrated system because the processes are going to be slightly more integrated as well. Because once you grow, then you are going to have a lot of challenges overall in communicating between your departments. So that's when your integrated system can help. And that's exactly what is the ERP system. Once you get onto an ERP system, you will always have to live in those, because the output of an ERP system is probably going to be your financial statements. And if you have a legal company, you probably require financial statement for the filing. So most companies in this world require some sort of an ERP system.
Well, that's amazing. It's interesting you bring that up because when you have an industry and you abbreviate things. I came out of an industry where we had an ERP that meant something totally different than what you just said. So that's the reason I think it's good for people to know that. I just love the fact that you had some challenges early on and you weren't really finding your groove, and then you got into where you are right now with Elevate IQ and the ERP system that's really, really going well for you. How can you encourage people that are maybe in that situation now where their business isn't really going like they think it should and they really want to persevere, but they're getting kind of discouraged?
Yeah, so in my case, I have always been slightly more entrepreneurial because I grew up in that environment. But in my case, my challenge always was to find this sort of focus and believe in myself. So since I grew up in a very manufacturing and distribution environment, and I was just like any other teenager who don't really like their parents, what they do, how they grew up, I was exactly like that. Okay, so I didn't want to do anything that my parents did. Okay, I wanted to deviate from that, and that's exactly what I did for roughly 15 years of my career. Then realized, what, I grew up in a very manufacturing distribution centric environment, and that's my core. That's what I understand deep and deep out. I understand business deep and deep out. So basically my message to your audience is going to be, realize what you are really made off of. Okay,
Right.
figure that out. Don't go for, let's say, the shiny object syndrome that I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of. Everybody's going after, let's say, the coolest possible technology. In my opinion, just figure out what you are made of. Just be better at that. And the more the more you focus on yourself, the more you focus on your core expertise and try to create something from it, nobody can really beat that because nobody can really match that.
Well, that is so true. I mean, obviously, God has gifted each one of us with certain talents, abilities, and a mindset for certain industries, and so we do need to utilize what we're good at and what we know, because you're always going to be more successful when you're in your lane, what you really know all about and what you're good at. So I just think that's so incredible how you've been so successful with what you're doing. As companies grow, you're right. It becomes communication is such an important thing. And this program is all about how amazing people connect. We don't just connect with people outside of our business and industry. We need to connect and work with people inside the companies we work for and make sure that the communication is good. So what are some of the things you're really key on with that system to help people keep that communication going?
Yeah, so I guess I don't know if I'm going to touch on the similar question that you asked, but it's going to be slightly similar. So one of the things that I personally like to believe overall from the connections perspective, and one of my the things that I have personally seen is people are not really good at connecting. They just don't know how to connect, how to utilize their network and connections better. I'll give you an example. If you actually pay attention to the world around you, 50% of the time people are really spending in sales or marketing. And using sales and marketing, what you are trying to do is you are trying to connect with someone so that you can tell your story. That's exactly what sales and marketing does. It does not do anything more than that. What if you could actually build a community around you and you can hang out with your customers so that you don't have to spend as much time, and as a community we can be slightly more productive overall, and that's exactly what I live by, to be honest, and that's how I like to utilize my connection. So whenever anybody comes to me, what I am trying to do as a super connector is going to be, hey, I have this person, I have 10,000 people I'm connected with, right? What can I do to make sure that I am going to make a three-way connection so that all these three people are going to be benefited? Now, there are people who are really good at connections, there are people who are not. Sometimes when you are going to send some connection, your existing connection can fire back. And that's why you need to really have deep understanding of your network and deep understanding of where the person is coming from, so that you can make an informed connection that is going to help them. If you take too much time from these guys, then that is probably not going to work. So I don't know if I answered your question, but I wanted to definitely bring this topic related to connection, which has really worked for me as a super connector, and I think people should be paying attention to that.
Well, I just think that's so awesome. From the first time we met and we talked, I could tell that you are a super connector. You are easy to talk to. You are a great communicator. And that's so important. I mean, communication goes into productivity. If people aren't communicating within a company, aren't really connecting with each other, they are not going to be productive, because we know that people, first of all, love to do business with people they know, like, and trust. But that's not only outside the business, that's also inside the business. If you know, like, and trust your team, you're going to be so much better, and you're going to communicate better because of that like and trust. And that is so important. And I think that, the system you've set up and what you're all about is so great. That's why you and I get along so good. I'm like a hyper connector. I'm always connecting like crazy with people. That's how you and I got connected, because of other great people like Inger and Gail, who are commenting today. It's so good to have them on the show. And, I think that it's so important. Every step we go in any business, in any industry, is think about that communication, think about how we're connecting both inside and outside. So within your system, that makes people more productive inside. Does that also help them with the sales and marketing process?
Yes, absolutely. So I think I was talking more about the outside, but in fact, I mean, see, that is also going to help inside. For example, let's say I work with a lot of different Fortune 500 companies, and if you ask any employee, how many people do you know personally in that organization? Here's the answer. They are going to say, I probably know 5, 10. max, because they are simply hanging out with their team. They never care to even pick up the lunch from the other person who might be working in the next cubicle. And now with this company, you have 10,000 people. If you multiply this 10,000 with 10,000 of their network, then imagine the possibility how you can grow your network. Now, this network does not only help with your internal communication, internal, entrepreneurial, vibe, because executives are looking for people who are super resourceful, super enterprising inside the organization. But this is also going to help you outside too with, sales and marketing that I already touched. But along with that, it is also going to help you, let's say, if you're looking for a job. So the more connections you have, the bigger network you have. I don't think anybody should be limiting their network. Everybody should be hanging out with as many people as possible. And the more people you hang out with, you are not only hanging out with that person, you are actually marrying with the 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 connections that they might have. So they are actually opening their network for you for whatever you need, whether you're looking for a job, whether you are trying to sell your product or services, whether you are looking to simply grow inside the organization. Connections could be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you are so right. Connection it's just a multiplication table as far as the number of people that we actually have access to by reaching out. I always am encouraging people so much to just continue. Sales and marketing is all about connection. It's all about relationships. It's all about building that network like you're talking about. And so whether we're doing that internally or externally for your business with your sales and marketing, it's so critical to just continue to work, expand externally, but also don't forget to work internally, because the more people feel like there's good communication, that they're connected to their company and what they're doing, the more invested they are in helping that company to profit and do better, right? The more that they are feeling like they've got skin in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually going to build on that. So I know a lot of people who are super connected and they are really part of an organization. They don't necessarily care for the sales and marketing or leads. Sometimes when you think about the connections, people are always thinking that, the connections and network is only for people who are looking to grow their business, who are looking to sell their offerings. But that is not true, because what happens is, let's say, if you create your community impact, for example, if you are quoted by everybody on LinkedIn, your company is quoted by everybody, and your name is actually affiliated with that. If 10,000 people are commenting on your post and you are simply an employee of the organization, what is going to happen next is your CEO is going to notice that. Okay. And if the CEO notices, what is going to happen next? You are going to grow in the organization. So again, connections are not really limited for sales and marketing. Connections are for everybody. It's for everybody in the company. The more connected, the more networked you are, the more dots you are connecting. Everybody should be entrepreneurial. Everybody should be salespeople, and you should be representing your brand, because you are actually helping your company. If you help your company, then company is going to help you. If you don't care for your company, why do you think the company is going to care for you?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's kind of like that circle, because you're right. If you care for your company and you're really motivated and you're connecting and you're promoting, your company's going to notice that, and that's going to be awesome. But also, team members notice if the company is letting them be is communicating well and letting them be part of their business. So that's important from top management on down, to let people know that they matter, that they have value, they're part of the company, and that way it helps each team member be invested and help the team. So it's a good circle of life for the business, right?
Exactly. But I mean, one thing that I would like to add in this is sometimes people don't know how to communicate publicly and socially. What I would recommend is just learn about how you should be communicating publicly, because that could fire back as well. And some people might be afraid overall in terms of, okay, I'm posting on social media about my corporate brand, about my company, and my HR is actually going to come to me and they are going to tell me something which, makes people afraid. But if you actually know how to position yourself, how to best reflect your company and how to best position your company on social media, everybody is going to appreciate. Don't talk anything controversial. Don't talk anything political. Stay away from those that's similar to your work culture. I mean, if you want to do that on Facebook, go ahead and do that. But when you are talking about professional marketing on LinkedIn, Twitter, you want to be mindful of the company, because company is actually paying you. So you need to make sure that you are really caring for them, and you have to mean it. I mean, if it were your business, you would not do something that is going to jeopardize their position. Just mean it. Just do it the way, you would do it for your own company.
You are so right. That's so good. Hey, so in the little bit of time we have left, tell us what WBS Rocks is.
So WBS Rocks is the community. It's a podcast. We have several different events, LinkedIn Live, happy hour. The whole idea of WBS Rocks is to bring together a lot of different super connectors, to be honest. And that's where I met so many different amazing people. For example, Gail and Ingrid, we have been referring to these guys. So it's really built around the ERP, finance, and operation executives. So we come together and we try to help each other. It's really to help everybody together. And how can we help each other? Okay, so we do a lot of different educational podcast from our podcast perspective. We do LinkedIn Lives. The whole idea is to promote education about ERP, promote education about digital transformation, so that businesses can make super informed decisions. But at the same time, our goal is to help our partner, community, customers, whoever is associated in our ecosystem, in our tribe. Our goal is to help them as much as possible, so that something comes back. Obviously, something needs to come back. Okay, that's why.
Yeah. Well, Sam, listen. One thing I got to say about you: you need more energy. Because
send me that goals.
So listen, we're winding up here, but I want you to let people know. People are going to say, wow, this guy is on fire. I need to learn more about Sam and the ERP and WBS Rocks, all that stuff. How do they get in touch with you?
Well, so I'm super visible on social media. So it's really easy to find me, Sam, SAM, GUPTA. You can follow hashtag called WBS Rocks, WBS ROCKS. We have our LinkedIn page. If you actually go to our domain, which is going to be wbs.rocks, you can fill out the contact form, or Elevate IQ, ELEVATIQ, and you can get in touch with me.
That is so great. Well, listen, I know people are going to want to do that. You are an outstanding individual. All the stuff that you have going, and I really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much for taking time to come on today.
Thank you so much, Russ. You have outstanding audience, and the show, I enjoyed this a lot.
Well, I'm glad. That's one thing. I figure if you can't have fun with life, right? Why? We got to get out there, enjoy what we're doing. That is a lot of how great communication, relationship, connection happens when people are loving life. They're enjoying it. You definitely love your life and love what you're doing. It shows in your passion. And boy, thank you so much. You and I are going to stay connected, because connection is all about building relationships. And I'm not a one and done. I want to stay in touch, and we're going to be able to help each other out in all that's going on in the future.
Exactly. Indeed. Thank you so much, Russ.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to send you to the green room, wrap things up here. Thank you so much, everybody. Wow. Thank you for joining us today. Sam has got so much energy. I think I have a lot of energy till I'm talking with Sam. So what a great, great individual. All the great things he's doing with ERP and with WBS Rocks, and all the stuff that he has going with his Elevate IQ. Don't forget to check out his contact points. I will make sure that's in the show notes. And don't forget, we're here every Monday and Thursday, 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. That's Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. So hope to see you next time. But until we do, have a great day and a great life. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.